King David established the kingdom of Israel, and King Solomon, David's son, crowned the kingdom of Israel by building the temple and also by bringing world renown to Israel. Now notice I didn't say world dominance. King Solomon was a king of peace. He wasn't fighting with the other nations. He was inspiring them. They looked in awe. They were inspired by the beauty, the truth, the goodness, the unity of Israel. And this was the height that God was preparing for, that the chosen people would be a light to the nations, not at war with the nations, not kind of fighting with the nations, but inspiring the nations, showing the nations how children of God can live. And it was glorious. But then towards the end of his life, it all fell apart. And it's as simple as this. Solomon turned his eyes away from the heavens. It says, Solomon did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, and did not completely follow the Lord as his father David had done. You notice that? I mean, I'm sure Solomon would say, hey, like I'm a good follower of the Lord. He didn't completely forsake everything. He just was compromising. Just like today, some people say, oh, I'm a good Catholic. Yeah, but are you completely following the Lord? There are so many cultural Catholics, or even, again, people say, oh, I'm a practicing Catholic. Yeah, but are you completely following the law of the Lord? And again, it says Solomon didn't follow the Lord like his father David had done. And it just reminds us, like, oh, David was so impressive, so wonderful. David had kind of a holy recklessness. He was a bit of a spiritual wreck his whole life. And you see that when we read his Psalms, oh God, you are my God, for you my soul is thirsting. My body pines for you like a dry and weary land without water. So I gaze upon you in the sanctuary. Like David, even though he too had the riches and the power and all that, David didn't put his heart on the things of this world. His whole life, David had his slips, we know that. But David's whole life, he remained, you could say, not of this world. And that's the way each one of us should be striving to be. Not of this world. And it should bug our friends, our fervent friends, that we should kind of bug them, like, why aren't you one of us? Why do you always have to be a weird Catholic? Never lose your holy foolishness. Always be a holy fool. Scripture, St. Paul says, God chose the foolish of the world to shame the wise. Keep that holy foolishness, that childlikeness. Children are uninhibited. Children, they're always a little foolish. And we too, we need to maintain that. They also say, the saints, they kind of weren't exactly nice. Of course, they were all nice in their own way, but you couldn't kind of just summarize them by saying, St. Padre Pio, he was really nice. Well, not exactly, in his own ways. Or Saint Mother Teresa, she kind of wasn't safe. It wasn't safe to give Mother Teresa the mic. And people discovered that. You give a saint a mic, and you'd be surprised what will come out of their mouth, because they don't care. They're not of this world. And again, that's somehow David, his heart. He knew that the things of this world are not what he was made for. He knew the things of this world couldn't satisfy his heart. His heart was made for God. And by the grace of God, David had this longing, this holy restlessness, this thirsting for God, kind of like the bride in the Song of Songs. Remember in the Song of Songs, she goes out in the middle of the night and where is he? And she's a wreck. And David was always like that. And again, us too, when our eyes are fixed on the things of heaven, we long for the things of heaven. We long for God. We're not of this world because we know we were made for God, and in God alone is our soul at rest.